All right, welcome back. First off, I want to thank Simba on Fire for guest hosting and sharing his experience with us last week. I think a lot of people can be helped with another perspective, and I certainly do appreciate him taking the time to share with us his. So a big shout out to Simba on Fire for guest hosting the channel last week. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about being present to the moment, the power of now, and why it's so important for us to understand these concepts. So without further ado, let's get into it. People often wonder how and why I keep so busy. I always have more projects on deck, more responsibilities, more obligations. I always have something in the queue. And sometimes I struggle to even get these videos out every week. And now with the arrival of spring comes spring cleaning and yard work. There's even going to be a lot more to do. Well, being present to the moment has a lot to do with this, and I'm going to explain it a bit here. Now, you've all heard the expressions, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. Or how about, there's no time like the present. Which should be, there's no time but the present, because there's only ever one moment, the present. Now is the only moment. The past is nothing but a collection of memories of what happened before. And the future, well, the future never comes. The future is always off into the future. The future is our anticipation of what will come to pass. But the only moment that we ever get to live in and experience is the present moment. Now, because there's only ever one moment, which is the present, we can't possibly fit everything we need to do into one moment, which is why we create schedules, which is nothing more than a sequenced list of what we work on one after the other. And being present to the moment helps you move from one thing to another. Because when you are present to the moment, when you live in the now, it is very hard to drift, which is a big part of what the excellent Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil, was about. Now, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you, but a big part of that book, in Napoleon Hill's conversation with the devil, one of the devil's biggest tricks was getting people to drift through life. And that's very hard to do when you are present to the moment, because most people are either dwelling on the past or looking at the future. And if they are able to bring their minds into the present moment, they get bored. They're so used to drifting that when they're given the wheel of the ship to steer their own life, they don't know what to do. See, the key is by realizing that now is the only moment that ever is. Well, when is it time to get things done? Now. And it will help keep you moving from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Most people like to procrastinate. They like to put things off until they have to do it. I'm not busy because I procrastinate. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm so busy because I have so many things to do at once. I'm like a printer whose printing queue is full at all times. We had talked a bit about how George Lucas had crammed a bunch of truths into his Star Wars saga. Well, even Yoda tells you about the importance of being present to the moment when he's scolding Luke. Never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. And then he calls him reckless. So being present to the moment is incredibly important, and even more so when it comes to magic. When you're performing a magical operation, you have to be present to the moment. You need to do your visualizations as if they're happening to you now. You need to formulate your statements of intent in the present moment, so that they can manifest in the present moment. When you put them off into the future, they stay off into the future and it never comes. You get out what you put in, so always make sure that you're putting in the present moment, the power of now, okay? I hope everyone gets this, because you could be doing everything right, but if you're not present to the moment and you're casting off into the future, the manifestations just simply won't occur. It's one of those things where a small correction can make a huge difference. And that will about do it for today. A bit shorter video this week, but I had a plumbing emergency. I had a drain pipe leaking in a wall, which has been fixed, but I have a buddy coming over soon to help me patch everything back up. So a bit shorter this week, but all the information is there. So like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Someone else may too. Follow me on Twitter at Frater Xavier, and consider joining us over at Patreon or Subscribestar, where all supporters get early access to Mystery School videos before they're available elsewhere. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you soon. Take care.